Hello and welcome to our very first live episode of Holy Shiitake, a podcast, kind of a podcast, I guess we could say, where my good friend Jenny and myself are gonna be talking about life in Japan and how different, I guess, that is from other places in the world. Please welcome Jenny. Hello, Jenny.
Hello, Florian, and how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty okay, but today is a little cloudy in Hokkaido. There's a typhoon going on right now in the
Oh,
south.
oh shit.
Uh, yes, Holy Shiitake. Um, like my boyfriend and I were just watching TV the entire day yesterday. We were looking at the updates for the typhoon because in the area around Niigata, it's in the central area uh, of Japan, which is a little close to Osaka and Tokyo, probably.
Okay.
The winds and the waves are very strong, and there's just a lot of suspended classes. Well, actually, not just classes. The offices are closed. Amusement parks are closed. In fact, it's there are not really classes technically because we're also celebrating the Obon Week.
Okay, what's that?
Obon Week is actually the one of the official holidays of Japan. It's like the All Souls Day in America, probably.
All right.
So, like in a whole 3 day holiday, some people go to their dead relatives or
Right,
ancestors, and
right.
they go to the cemeteries, and they do the usual routine like praying, offering gifts and food like that. Some people, which are majority these days, they go camping and doing summer stuff for what
Okay.
people do in the summer. Yeah.
All
And
right.
it's a very, very busy holiday because the thing about holidays in Japan is that everybody is doing the same thing. Like if everybody's on holiday, everybody's on holiday.
Yeah.
Unlike in the Philippines and like in other parts of the country, they plan their holidays, their vacations, their sick leaves, or they don't. Nobody plans their sick leaves. I mean,
Yeah. I
their
mean,
leaves.
I
they
would hope not.
they they plan their leaves on a very random date or whenever they like
Yeah.
to. But in
Can you
Japan,
can
it's
you
not like that.
can you
Yeah.
can you imagine like Japanese people being so organized, they know exactly when they're gonna be sick.
Oh my God, that would be like really crazy. But who knows?
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah, but this thing about holidays and work days, the first day of school, the first day of work, it's a thing that I guess Japan is the only country that does it.
Okay.
Because like say for example, the holidays that I mentioned to you, the major holidays that people do here are one, it's the Obon Week, the All Souls Day or also All Saints Day of Japan.
Okay.
The next one is Shogatsu. It means the New Year, New Year's Day.
Right.
It takes place from usually from the 1st of January until the 4th of January.
Okay.
And
So
yeah.
so like they
Hmm.
follow the same calendar as the I mean normal calendar. I don't know if I can call that normal calendar, but like us.
Well, they. Hmm.
Because like when you look at other countries like China, their New Year is based on the moon, right? It's not based on like
Uh-huh, exactly.
countries like us. But Japan is just like following. So Japan is basically doing New Year's stuff the same way we do, right?
I would say yes and no.
Okay.
It's a yes because it's like it's a modern world. They follow what what people in the West and people in the like in the other parts of the world do. The only thing though is they do fireworks for the Western belief or the Western
Okay.
holiday kind of thing.
Okay.
Um, and the fireworks thing, they usually do that in summer.
Okay. All right.
For the New Year's thing, instead of doing fireworks and stuff like that, they usually do the fireworks kind of thing in the major cities like Tokyo,
Yeah,
Osaka, Nagoya, and stuff like that.
yeah,
It's not usually for the traditional people, it's actually for the younger generations and usually the tourists because, it's a whole touristy kind of thing.
yeah.
But in the traditional sense, people usually go to the shrines and pray and wish for whatever they want to wish for,
Mm,
generally about health, luck, their relationships, marriages, passing the tests, passing the job interviews, and stuff like that.
okay.
It's usually a more quiet, should I say, or more serene kind of tradition whenever they celebrate New Year's Day. They don't actually. This is the interesting thing. They don't actually celebrate New Year's Eve or whatsoever like we do in the West or
Okay.
other parts of the world. Um, they just sleep because okay,
So
like
like,
on my
so like they
yeah,
don't celebrate the passing of the year. They just celebrate the new year that's here when you wake up, right? Basically.
exactly. Like I remember on my first New Year celebration here in Japan, I was like, the usual thing in the Philippines is that we celebrate it on New Year's Eve, probably around from 10 o'clock p.m. on December 31st. Like what we usually do in the Philippines is we celebrate with our families. We have
Mm-hmm.
this whole bunch of food and we do fireworks. We get drunk. We sing at the karaoke or whatever. It's not like that in Japan. Everybody sleeps on New Year's Eve. And
That's funny.
yeah, I was quite shocked about it because I didn't have any um like awareness of what Japan really is and what it is traditionally. I just knew Japan as how we see it as
Yeah,
foreigners.
that's the thing, right?
Yeah,
It's the same for me,
exactly.
right? Because like anything I know of Japan is basically what I've seen from the outside, right? And
Exactly.
like what I've read and like stuff like that, and then like more recently from you, since now you're on the inside. But um, yeah, it's I don't know, it's interesting to get into that, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Like what, how, how you realize that you have some preconceptions on stuff, and once you get there, you're like, oh shit, this is actually not the way I thought it was, kind of thing, right?
Exactly. It's a little strange and like if you are giving Japan in your own perspective, you get disappointed of what you expect it
Right.
should be. Like I got disappointed that everybody's sleeping. I couldn't see any fireworks
Yeah.
everywhere, and I'm like, where the hell are the fireworks? Well, for one thing, I am living in the countryside, that's for
Right.
sure, and nobody really celebrates that.
Yeah.
I was a bit disappointed because like I remember asking my coworkers in school when the classes uh restarted. Is that
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
forgot my yeah. So when the classes restarted, I asked them why weren't the people like celebrating New Year's Day with fireworks and stuff like that like we do,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh no, we just sleep or we just spend our time with our family in the countryside and we eat together and then we sleep, that's it. And then early in the morning people all go to the temples and they pray and
Yeah.
well, shrines, that is, they go to the
Right.
shrines and yeah, they pray and it's more of the holy religious kind of thing that they put importance to instead of having fun, getting crazy, getting drunk, and
Yeah.
like celebrating. Oh, it's a new year, time to get drunk, or it's a new year,
Which
time
is
to be,
which that's
yeah.
actually kind of funny to me because like when you look at the way Japanese people do things, right? Like, and
Mhm.
maybe it's just my preconception from the outside, but like, so Japanese people are very organized. Like we've talked about that last week. Like
Uh-huh.
people are like super organized and everything, but at the same time they're super wild. Like there is this I don't want to say tradition because it's not really a tradition, but where they work really hard during the day, and then in the evening at night they just get pissed drunk in the street and do their bullshit, right? And then they go back to work the
Uh-huh.
day after. But the one day where they could do that for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, it's like, no, we're cool. We're just gonna go to bed early and it's gonna be okay. And tomorrow we're just gonna go to the shrine. It's like, how crazy is that?
I think it's also because, as what I told you last time, they have their places to behave.
Right, right,
Like they're not really random people, should I say. Like if they want to do things, they put everything in places. Like if you
yeah,
want to get drunk, you go to this area. If you want to go horny, then you go to this area. And which is a little strange as well for us, because for people outside Japan, we just do whatever we want at a
right.
random,
Hmm.
at random decisions or whatever, and nobody cares. But people here cares when they're in public. They just
Right,
show these masks, should I say, or like they have to do this proper behavior because
right.
they're outside.
Like image in Japan is very important, right?
It's very important.
Yeah,
Yes, it's very important. And the funny thing is that they can be crazy with whatever they can think of. In fact, they are one of the most creative people in the world when it
yeah,
comes to weirdness and being crazy and all that.
yeah. You could say that.
Um, exactly. And the funny thing is that no matter how much, high this level of craziness they can think of, they see it as that's what it is. It is what it is, but it doesn't come out.
Right.
Like, like if you're a salary man, they say, if you want to go crazy, if you want to go drunk, if you want to go horny and just hook up with a random person out there, you do it in this place, like in a love hotel.
Yeah.
And after that, everything is normal. You just go back to work, um like pretend like nothing happened, and then if you want to do that again in the same particular place,
Right.
and then the next day you just act like nothing happened.
It's kind of like kind of like Las Vegas in the U.S. kind of thing. It's like
I guess so.
what happens
Yeah,
in
you can say that.
what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Exactly, exactly. And the funny thing is that it's not just in Vegas, it's the entire Japan.
That's
They're
but
doing
yeah,
that as a whole.
this is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, this morning I was researching about over packaging in Japan, because maybe
Right.
a lot of people are not aware of this. So, when I went grocery shopping for the first time, oh yes, for the first time, of course, one of the things that I love to buy were sweets, because I should,
Candies. I'm actually
yeah, like
I'm
candies.
I'm actually eating candies right now.
What are you eating right now?
Just like gummy candies.
Oh, okay. Speaking of gummy candies, that's actually one of the most popular, sweets here in Japan. But well, speaking of that, so I went over to the grocery store. I went to the, to the sweets corner, and
Right.
one of my favorite brand is Pocky. So Pocky is like, do you know Pocky?
Yeah, that those the sticks covered in chocolate and stuff, right?
Exactly. I'm actually grabbing a box of Pocky right now. It's
Nice,
strawberry
nice.
flavored.
Ooh, I like the
Um,
strawberry one. Strawberry one's good.
Yeah, it's one of the most popular flavors, to
Yeah.
be honest. So I grabbed one of these, and then when I was excited to, to come back home and try them. In fact, there were a lot of, a lot more strange flavors
Yeah.
of sweets, but probably you can talk about later. So when I opened the box, I was surprised because there was another packaging inside,
Yeah.
like a foil. Okay, that's pretty normal, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. It's the
if
same here.
if you buy a huge box of Pocky, and you open it, there are like several more packages,
So like,
and then when you
so,
open it, there's another pack of small,
well,
small servings.
it's like Russian dolls kind of thing.
Exactly, exactly.
That's funny.
I was a little shocked about it, because it's like, why do they do this? I mean, this is like a waste of plastic. I don't understand. And then what I usually do the next day, I ask my coworkers, I'm like, why do you do over packaging? And the funny thing is that they actually don't know why too.
Yeah.
I
I think
it you know
maybe
yeah,
maybe because it's like for a lot of things in Japan, like I feel that presentation is really important, right?
exactly,
And
exactly.
and maybe that packing something into something else is just kind of their way of making it look good, or like making it look more I don't know, like more valuable kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, presentable, nice, and like this kawaii factor, they
Right.
are into this.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna get into that later. So like I made a lot of researches about that. I read a lot of blogs about why are they doing all these over packaging thing when in fact they value recycling, they value garbage segregation a lot. So it's
Mhm.
like a little bit of irony in there. So it's like, how come you like to recycle? You guys like to recycle. You observe cleanliness a lot. You observe saving energy, saving a lot of things. When you guys waste so much plastic, and why do you do over packaging a lot? Um, so I read one of the blogs of yeah yeah anyway so yeah I read of one of the blogs, and one of the writers said the reason why they do that is because of the weather in Japan, because in most areas it's humid, or
Okay.
it's warm, and when you open a package it just gets spoiled when
Yeah.
when you don't seal it properly, right?
Yeah.
And that's one factor. So they put a lot of separated small packages because they don't really eat a lot like we
Yeah.
generally do, right? So they control. That's another thing that they do. They control what they eat. Like, yes, they have a lot of sweets, they have a lot of fatty stuffs as well, fatty stuff as well.
Like
um
how,
yeah,
how do they do it, dude? When I open a box of of poke, like it's gone. That's it.
I know. That's why. Well, for us it's totally like it doesn't make sense, right? Like like if I buy a huge box of pokey, I just eat everything in an hour.
Yeah.
But
Right.
their culture is not like that. They like they eat in very very small portions. So the reason that's why they package them in small portions, and then package comes in one after another, is because they like they want to preserve the freshness of the product. And
Mm.
they're I guess it's also this over overcome obsessive compulsive thing, I guess.
Right.
They want to make sure that everything must be sealed properly, everything must come out fresh,
Mm.
everything must taste good.
I
That's
mean,
why they value
and
this over
and
packaging thing.
and you kind of experienced that firsthand too. I remember last time when you were talking about Shingo packing the pizza leftovers, right?
Oh my god, yeah, that's true.
And how he was like wrapping like every single slices individually into the aluminum thing,
Uh-huh.
because no, that was the way to do it. So it's kind of funny.
Well, I think it's also because he was looking after the like some meat sticking on the other,
Yeah.
and he was like, we need to wrap this single by one by one, so we don't have to like worry about the other parts of the meat
Yeah.
going to another, to another pizza or whatever.
That's funny.
I don't know. I think it's also it's just their culture, and
Yeah.
something I can't really explain.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, like here packaging is kind of a problem as well, but we have more and more uh, recycle programs going on.
Okay.
And like I don't know if you guys have this, but like you can buy a lot of stuff in bulk, so you don't have to actually buy a bunch of boxes and bags and stuff like that. You can just buy like one big bag of whatever you want, kind of thing.
That's the funny thing. Now that you mentioned bulks, there's no such thing
They
in
don't, they
Japan.
don't do bulks in Japan.
They don't. That only exists in Costco.
That's funny.
I have to say. That's also one thing that I got shocked about, because when I was buying fruits, I was expecting to buy a kilo, right? But
Right,
I was surprised because they sell fruits by per piece.
right, by the unit, right? I mean, we have that here too. Yeah, you can either buy like, let's say you want to buy some apples, you can buy like a big bag of apple, or you can just,
Exactly.
or you can buy two apples if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well, it's not like that here. Like we don't purchase anything by the bulk
yeah,
usually. If you do want to like buy a dozen apples, you still have to pay, like if it's 100 yen a piece, then you buy 100 yen times 12.
right. You're right.
You buy it like that. You don't get a discount when you buy at a certain amount or at a
Mm,
certain kilo. You just buy everything per piece. I actually asked my dad about that because sometimes we also, talk about this over Skype, and he claims that um, saving is a very valuable culture for Japan, and they just don't want to waste.
right. Which,
Um,
which
so,
which makes sense
mhm,
because I mean, when you look at it, especially historically, right? I mean, it's not as true today, but like Japan itself is a fairly small island, right? They don't have a
mhm,
lot of resources, so whatever resources they have, they don't want to waste it because no, that's basically
exactly,
all they have, right?
exactly.
And like, well, like I think it's not as true today because you can import stuff from all over the world now, so you don't really
Mhm,
run out of stuff as much. Um, but it's like it's been ingrained in the culture, right?
mhm. And it's not just that, they just value everything. They appreciate every person's actions, or like they respect everyone.
Right.
So I remember when I was eating school lunch with the kids, and then I couldn't finish one of the variants because I'm just not really a fan of it.
Yeah.
One of the co-teachers were like, you know we would appreciate if you finish everything. And I'm like, yeah, I understand, but I don't eat this, and it's not my kind of thing. I can't eat that.
Yeah.
Although they understand that, sometimes my co-teachers explain to me, it's very valuable for us to finish everything because we think about how the farmers,
Right. Right.
harvested these things, how the cooks, spend their time preparing all these things. So you need to appreciate it, and you need to finish whatever you got in your plate, because it's like how you respect how everybody did this for you to eat on the plate.
Hmm.
And I never thought of that. It does make sense though.
It does. It does make sense. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like if more people thought like that, I think a lot of things would be better. But
Well, that's one thing I'd like to ask about, Western countries. It doesn't really happen in the Philippines, especially in Japan, though. But why is it a big waste in other areas, like in Canada and America? Like, why do people waste food? Why?
honestly, I have no idea. Like,
Really?
yeah, no, I couldn't tell you. Like, it feels like just people don't care. That's it.
You think so?
Like
We
people,
should probably ask the listeners, like, if
like,
people here coming
no,
coming from America, they can probably explain
like,
that. Yeah.
I think it's a, no, a combination of bad habits and not caring or not knowing. Um,
Uh-huh.
like I was doing this thing. It doesn't work anymore. That was like this app I had on my phone where it counted my steps I was doing every day, and when I reached my goal, it would give me points for whatever stuff.
Uh-huh.
And every once in a while, they would send little bits of information about um, being healthy, essentially, right?
Uh-huh. Okay.
And one of those things one day was talking about food waste, and the way the app was doing it was like there was a little quiz
Okay.
asking me what I thought what the answer to that question was, and then it would give me the right answer to kind of educate me, right? And so that one thing one day was about food waste, and it's ridiculous the amount of food that people waste. Like it's like in the hundreds of kilos a year. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell you why. I don't know. Maybe like because people buy too much because
Mm-hmm.
like it's no resources are not really a problem here. Like everything is available all the time.
Okay, that makes sense.
So like they don't really care about it. I have no idea honestly. I don't know. I don't know.
Speaking of, um, the resources are available all year round. I should say, I think that's one factor that Japan doesn't have.
Right.
Because, like, say for example, here in Hokkaido, we don't have everything all season. Like,
Mm.
I should say, apples are around all are available all year round. Probably because in other areas of Japan they are available,
Right.
but stuff like some certain vegetables that we have in Hokkaido are not available from other parts of Japan,
Yeah.
and is only available here in Hokkaido. So obviously in harvest season, then they're available, but in winter season they're not. So I guess that's also one reason why people really value saving every little piece
Right.
of, yeah, food or any item,
Right. Yeah.
and
Like
yeah,
I
they
mean,
just don't want to waste.
yeah, it just goes back to what I was saying earlier, right? Japan is a very small island, and they only have so much space to produce stuff.
Exactly.
So they have to be a little bit more careful because, like, I mean, here, one of the reasons why we get pretty much everything all year round is because of our location. Like you see here in Vancouver, like if it's the winter and it's not tomato season, you can still buy tomatoes because they're coming from California where it's warm when they're growing tomatoes there. Like that's
Oh my God, I totally feel envious about that. I'm like, oh man, I wish I would. Because seriously, when I started living here, I felt a little uncomfortable in a sense that because in the Philippines, I get used to all the fruits and vegetables are available all year
right.
round because we only have two seasons, which is summer and rainy season.
Yeah.
Um, no,
that's
it's a fact. It's a
that's
season for us.
that's actually funny. Two seasons, summer and rainy season.
Exactly. So we don't have spring, we don't have fall. Yeah, we don't have winter especially.
Yeah.
So everything is available. We're used to what we have, and we have this all year round. We go to the beach all year round if we want to. Everything is very stable, if we should say. So we don't know such a thing as this is in season. This is
Right.
in season right now. It
Right.
wouldn't, like we're so used to everything is in season, everything is available. We can do whatever we want anytime, anywhere. Period.
Yeah.
That's one thing that got me. One of the culture shocks that I experienced being new here in Japan, and until now, I still feel it. Like if I feel like eating um, if I feel like eating asparagus, I can't on this season, and
Yeah.
I feel bad if I'm craving for this vegetable and it's not available, and I have to wait for like what, a couple of months or more just to eat that.
Oh no, feels bad, man.
It feels really bad. Also, Filipino food is not available in Japan. I feel really bad about that.
Can't
There's so
you
many.
like
Yeah.
can't you like make kind of make Filipino food with what you can find in Japan?
There are some certain foods, like ingredients that are available to make Filipino food, but more of them are substitutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like we don't have papaya here, which is saddening.
So sad,
We
papaya is so
It
good.
is, I know, and we have like so many Filipino recipes that are made of papaya. Also coconut. Oh my God, there's no coconut, especially here in Hokkaido. Like
S-
probably we can get coconut milk, but
Yeah,
it's not fresh.
right.
It's like everything is by the package, by a
Yeah,
can or whatever.
yeah.
We don't even have coconut water. If there is coconut water, it doesn't taste like coconut water.
I hear ya. It's the
Uh,
same here. It's the same here. Like all the coconut water and milk and shit we have here is pretty gross.
yeah, so probably for people like me, it's one of the factors that give us homesickness, because Filipinos love their food,
Yeah.
I should say. We love eating. In fact, we eat 6 times a day.
You're like hobbits.
Yeah, like so it's 6 times a day. It's not even a huge amount of portion, I guess. So
Well,
it's
usually that's what happens, right? When people eat several times a day, they eat smaller portions usually, right?
I guess so, but not in Japan, I guess. They eat smaller portions and they only eat like what, thrice a day?
Yeah.
But in, yeah, like Filipinos, we eat like breakfast, snacks, lunch, snacks, dinner, and midnight snacks. But it doesn't. No, it's true. It's true. You can ask your Filipino friends out there. It's
Well,
true.
I believe you. I believe you. It's funny to me. You're like hobbits. It's breakfast, second breakfast, lunch, snack, and then it's 5 p.m. tea, and then it's dinner,
Oh my God.
and then the midnight snack.
Yeah, but well, in Japan, they don't necessarily do that. So they do eat a smaller portion. I think it's also because it's their culture to do
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
and they do eat smaller portions, and everything must be very clean, should I say? Like
yeah,
there should be vegetables, there should be at least fish, if not meat. There should be tea. Oh, it's a tradition for them to drink tea.
yeah.
There should be water. There should be fruits. So anything must be balanced.
Okay.
I think it's also reflected to the food that they usually eat in restaurants.
Right, right, yeah.
So everything must be like there should be rice, there should be fish, there should
Hmm.
be a little bit of vegetables in there. Unlike unlike other parts of the world where, like in the Philippines, we eat like everything is meat and then rice and that's it.
Yeah.
We don't have anything else. But in Japan, they have to have like an equal portion of everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I kind of forgot what we were talking about. We were talking about something else.
I don't know, man. We usually go all out of. What's that sound I hear behind you?
Oh, sorry, the kids and the neighbor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the vacation, the summer vacation is not yet done. No, not yet
Yeah,
finished.
right.
So, kids are still
So,
playing
kids are
around.
playing. That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah,
Um,
I should say I'm happy that I could hear children around, because I should say, because recently I've moved to Sapporo, right?
yeah,
But I live in a countryside for 4 straight years, and it's pretty different
yeah,
from what I've been back in Manila, because yeah, I'm a city girl for 30 years. It's very strange for me not to hear anything but
yeah.
crows and birds and the river,
It's
but
like
no children,
it's
no
like
people talking.
the actual countryside.
Exactly. But I do miss the countryside though.
I do like the countryside. I don't know if I could live in the countryside for very long because I do like the city. Um, but
Okay.
but I do find the countryside really relaxing once in a while.
A lot of my friends actually prefer the city than the countryside. I understand that. I think it's because most of them grew up in the city.
Yeah.
Um,
For me, for
they
me,
were, yeah.
for me, it's more about convenience. Right?
Ah,
Because the thing is,
exactly.
when you live in the middle of nowhere, anytime you
Hmm.
need something, you need to drive for 2 hours or
That's
some
true.
shit like
That's
that, right?
true.
Whereas now where I live right here, I'm like, yeah, same to that kid. Um, like where I live, and I'm like 10, 15 minutes walk from like one of the big malls that we have here where I work, sadly.
Right.
And I can get anything at pretty much any time of the day or night, right?
Hmm.
Which is why I kind of like the city. It's easy to move around. It's easy to get whatever you want whenever you want. Uh,
That's true though.
but on the downside, no, people everywhere, cars everywhere, pollution.
Yeah. I do prefer the countryside. It's not really because of convenience. I should say it's more of I love nature more
Yeah,
than anything else. And with my work, they provide us transportation, which
right.
is good.
That's pretty good.
I love to drive. I do a lot of nature activities, like outdoor activities in the summer.
Okay,
I like to do snow sports in the winter, and these are things that are not really common in the city, should I say? Because people in the city here, they prefer shopping. They just prefer doing something in the city.
right, right.
But this is something that I'm not really. It's not my kind of thing these days. Probably because I'm getting old. I don't know.
Yeah, I getting too old for this shit. Um, but yeah, that actually it's a really good segue, because I wanted to talk about traveling in Japan.
Okay. Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about that because no, so you lived in the countryside for quite a while, for like 4 years
Mhm.
ish. You're not in the city, but you've been in many different places, and no, you're gonna be starting your vlog with that, and we're gonna make some videos, and it's gonna be great.
Mhm.
Um, but like how? like how easy is it to basically go somewhere in Japan? Like you want to take a vacation, um,
Mm.
somewhere different. Like how easy is it? How expensive is it? How does that work? How does that even work?
Well, in the city, it's pretty easy because everything is accessible. Like if you want to buy a ticket to the train, everything is just available. Like if you want to buy a train, there's an available booth for that. Like you go to the train station,
Yep.
and then there's a booth there. You
Mm.
just click everything, whatever you need, like the place you want to go. You just click that, and then the monitor will show the price, and then yeah, you
And
just
like
pay it, and then you get the ticket, and then you can go.
so like I'm guessing in Japan, like one of the more common ways to travel would be the train and the car, right?
Hmm.
Although I feel that I don't know, I feel that we don't really see a lot of cars in Japan. Maybe it's a matter of space. I don't know. Um, but like so it's mainly like I'd say it's mainly train. Like when you're actually traveling, right? You're
Hmm.
gonna mainly use the train. Like when here in North America mostly, or but in Europe not as much, but here in North America because everything is so big and so expanded.
Hmm.
A lot of the time when you want to travel, you just fly. You just use like
Hmm.
right. So,
Well, flying is also available, like any other parts of the country. If you want to save money,
yeah.
because traveling by plane is very very cheap.
Is it?
It's very very cheap, should I say. If I want to, so I'm from Hokkaido right now. If
Yeah.
I want to travel to Tokyo two-way, that would be, I can like spend 16,000 yen.
Okay.
So that's like,
Hold on.
I don't know, like $160, should I say? 16,000 yen for two-way, $160 going back and forth.
Yeah, dude, that is pretty cheap. That's about 200 bucks Canadian.
Yeah, and it's like it's a low cost carrier
Okay.
to but
Dude, like
it
here
yeah.
here here in Canada, flying is ridiculously expensive. Like to give you an example, especially flying within Canada, I will never understand that. Like for me to fly from Vancouver to Chicago,
Mm.
it's less expensive to do that return than basically fly on the east coast of Canada within Canada. I,
I cannot really explain that, but probably wouldn't it be because of the distance as well?
but like
Or how yeah.
like think about it. Okay, so like let's say like so I'm in Vancouver, right? Okay, let me pull up a map. Canada. Wait, let's do North America map.
Uh-huh.
Let's look at the map. Okay, can I zoom in? Okay. Um. Okay. So you know where Vancouver is, right? On the west coast. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Chicago is like by the big lakes on the east side, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a pretty long distance. And usually when I fly to Chicago, like there is no direct flight from Vancouver to Chicago. Yeah, I have to connect somewhere else in between. That is pretty long. But it's cheaper for me to take a plane in the middle of the US and then from the middle of the US to Chicago and then do it back than to fly from Vancouver to like let's say Toronto or Montreal, which is around
Mm-hmm.
around the same distance as Chicago would be, except it's just in Canada. It's actually so much more expensive to do that, and I don't understand why. Because
Don't you think is okay, that makes sense.
like the distance like is roughly the same, like bird's eye, but
Mm-hmm.
it's more expensive to fly within Canada than it is to fly internationally. Like in some cases, it would be cheaper for me to fly all the way to Paris than it would be to fly to Toronto.
What?
It's like, what is going on here? I don't understand.
Do they like encourage getting out of the country more than
I don't know.
traveling and
I
appreciating
don't
what's
know. Well, the thing is, like, usually when you fly internationally, and especially if you fly to Europe, you typically go through like travel agencies and stuff like that, right? So
mm-hmm.
like you get you get deals this way because now those agencies have deals with the airlines. A lot of the time when you fly like within the country itself, you kind of deal with the airlines directly, so they can just like charge you whatever they want. It's just stupid.
Yeah, I guess so. But I have to say, in Japan, they really encourage people to travel.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's the reason why, like, air travel is very cheap because they just encourage people to travel within Japan.
right,
I think it's also because everything is like they make everything available. Like you can buy you can buy flights via convenience stores, you can buy online. Everything is possible.
hmm,
And if you want to take a bus, there's the same process. You can do that online. You can buy from convenience stores, but usually there's that there are ready like automatic booths for that. And the impressive thing is that they don't need staffs
right.
to handle the tickets. They just have all these booths,
It's
these
all, yeah.
vending machines, and all this stuff.
It's
Everything is, yeah,
it's all
everything
automated.
is in machines. Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
and you know
Like I mean,
what?
like like
Mhm.
like it's kind of like I mean we kind of have that here. It probably works the same for Japan too, right? You can buy pretty much everything online, right? When I usually buy my plane tickets, I do it online. I don't go to actual place for that because
Mhm.
it's just annoying. Um, like I don't want to talk to people. I know what I want. I just want to click on stuff and get it. That's just it. Okay, all right. Okay, so no, I was talking about. Let me switch back the screen there for a few minutes.
Okay.
So a flight from Vancouver to Chicago return, if I leave tomorrow and come back the day after, would cost me about. Those are really expensive because it's last minute. But like here, like $700. This is stupid.
Okay.
Like super expensive.
Yeah,
But
it's
then
very
like
expensive.
the reason why is because it's tomorrow. Like if I do it,
Exactly.
let's say I want to fly in September. We should actually do it like that, just to be a bit more fair. Because usually you plan your trip ahead of time. Um, yeah, here I say like $400 ish. That's not too bad.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's not too
It's
bad.
not too
It's
bad,
the same thing. It's the same
right?
thing here in Japan, though. I have to say, I didn't mention a while ago. You get these big deals when you book, like
Like
way
way ahead of
beyond
time,
the
right?
yeah,
Yeah, it's the
exactly.
same for us. But like okay, like to finish my point. So Vancouver, Chicago, return. If I was flying there next month, like actually like 1 month from now, would cost me about
Mm.
between for like $400 and $500.
Wow.
Same date. If I want to fly to Toronto within Canada, like it goes upward to like $500-$600.
Wow.
Like I don't understand. Like
Well, I have to say though, that's the same amount when you take the train though, the bullet train or the Shinkansen.
is
That's
is
yeah,
it?
it's the same amount.
It's actually the same price flying and using the train.
No, using a train is much more expensive, I should say.
Really? This
Yes.
is so weird. Train here is so much cheaper because it takes so much longer.
Oh my God, that's so interesting. Because
Yeah.
like in the Philippines, we don't have these bullet trains and all
Right.
that stuff. We're like several thousands of islands, so we usually
Yeah.
take the planes to travel around,
Or you
or
just
but
or you just swim.
you can say that. You can say that. But yeah, the more common transportations in the Philippines are buses, boats, um, and planes.
Okay.
But in Japan, this is something I also don't understand. So they do encourage you to travel around, but when it comes to trains and planes, planes are way cheaper and faster, should I say?
I know that's the thing that like baffles me because okay, planes are way faster. You can like fly from one side of the country to the other in like an hour and a half, I bet, in Japan because
Yeah.
it's not that big. But a train ride would take you like 3 or 4, maybe more hours, right? Probably.
I have to say though, because like we had this discussion over one of the English cafes that I attended.
Right.
I asked the locals about this, and I asked them why is air travel far cheaper than than
Yeah.
land travel like trains and stuff like that. And they do said because a lot of Japanese people prefer the train because they say it's easier.
Okay.
Like they can just get a ticket whenever they want to, even in
Yeah.
the last hour.
Right. They can like get a ticket whenever they want to. Just hop on, like hop on, hop off when they arrive. Right. Well, the plane,
Exactly.
you have to buy a ticket. You have to go through security. You have to load your
Exactly.
luggage. You have to wait for the
It gets
plane.
delayed usually because of the weather and stuff
Right.
like that.
Because typhoons.
Yeah, which is happening right now.
Not a good time
By
to
the
fly.
Speaking of which, so there's a lot of cancellations right now in Tokyo and other areas of Japan. I feel very sorry of people
Yeah.
taking a vacation, going back to their places. But anyway, yeah, so my Japanese friends were like telling me it's easier, it's more accessible, and they just don't care sometimes. They don't care if they pay a lot
Hmm.
just to take the train.
So, like, do you think the companies are just taking advantage of that, and that's why they're charging more because they know they can just do it because people will pay anyway?
I guess so. And I think it's also because it's more on demand
Right.
that they make the prices higher because it's more in demand. And
But
like
how frequent are the trains? Like is there like a train every hour or something? Like how does that work?
that's a good question. In the city, the fastest are like every 2 minutes.
Yeah, but like for those, yeah, okay. So that's like within the city, right? It's
Yeah.
kind of like here we have the SkyTrain, and like in Paris where the subway and stuff like that, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it's the same here, like SkyTrain. Depends on the time of the day. During rush hours, it's about every 2 minutes. Later in the evening, it's like about every 5, 7 minutes. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but like, I mean, if you're actually traveling like in the country, right? Like from a city to another using the train.
It really depends because like there are many types of trains in Japan. You have the regular train, you have the rapid train, and you have the bullet train.
That's so funny.
Yeah, they all have these kinds of. I have to say though, they even have an anime about trains. I saw that one time. No, seriously, it was like Saturday around 9-ish in the morning. I was like,
Wow.
preparing my breakfast, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of lazy. I just want to watch TV or whatever I would see on TV. And then there's this anime thing, and
About
it's
trains.
kind of like a Power Ranger kind of ish thing, like
Okay.
Ultraman ish. So there are these kids, right? There are these kids, and then they have these watches, I guess, and then they're calling from their watches, and they're calling their train robots, and like each train, oh, and by the way, the existing train companies
Wow.
are in the anime.
So it's
Like
like,
one of the
so like it serves as an anime and advertisement at the same time.
exactly, like
That's
one of
funny.
the one of the popular train companies is JR,
Okay.
JR train companies like that. And yeah, they do have a JR. They do have like other brands of yeah, other brands of trains, and they become freaking robots.
Damn. That's. I mean, it's like there's an anime for pretty much everything in Japan.
I guess
Like
so.
whatever you can think of, there is an anime of that.
I actually told that to my boyfriend, and he was also shocked, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I think one of the reasons why they did that is for kids to, instead of get bored taking
Right.
the train, they're like, it gives them imagination, like, oh,
Yeah.
I know this train, it becomes a robot at late in the evening or stuff like
That's
that.
that's
And
funny.
it gives them a bigger imagination when they go travel around. But Japan is Japan. They always
Yeah.
do strange things for entertainment and stuff like that.
Yeah. So like right now you live in Sapporo, right?
Yeah, I live in Sapporo. Yeah.
Um, by train, how long would it take you to go to Tokyo?
Oh, well, that's a good question.
Depending
We
on, I guess, depending on the type of train you would take.
Yeah, we don't have a train though going from Sapporo to
Tokyo.
Tokyo
Okay.
for now,
All
but
right.
in
So
the year 2030, yeah.
yes. Okay. So they're gonna build a train. So if you want to go to Tokyo next week, how do you get there?
I would do the well, I would take the train, yes, of course, to the airport, and from the airport I'll take
And then
the
fly.
plane.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. That makes sense.
but we do have a program right now. We have like Hokkaido is having this project of having a bullet train from Sapporo to Tokyo.
Which would make sense, right?
Yeah, I think it's also because a lot of foreigners are coming here more recently.
Yeah.
So they decided, oh,
Which
we
is
should also,
which is
yeah.
which is very true. Like I have a couple of friends who actually were there not too long ago. I was seeing their photos on Facebook and
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, and I'm like, dude, like why are everybody going over there? Like someone I used to work with at my store, or until last year,
Mm-hmm.
goes to Japan quite frequently actually, because I think
Oh,
her,
that's interesting.
yeah, her best friend is over there, and yeah, and she goes in kind of the same area a lot of the time. And I'm like, what's over there that I've no pulling people there? Which is, because no, when you think Japan, like as a basic Western guy, who just knows Japan through anime and and crazy TV shows you see on YouTube, like when you think Japan, you think anime, you think Tokyo, with like all those like big things. Maybe you think Kyoto a little bit for the more traditional side of it.
Mm-hmm.
But like as someone who was not really into Japan and the culture, like if I were like
Mm-hmm.
really basic, I know a little bit more obviously, but like Hokkaido and Sapporo, and like that would be like I just like I'd be like, why go there? It's just the countryside, right? Like I'd rather go to Tokyo where like all the cool shit's happening, right?
I have to say, like, because personally speaking, I prefer the countryside more.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to explain that a while ago. I think it's also because it's something unique, I should say, because like in other parts of the world, a countryside is a countryside, and that's it. You see cows, you see, like poultry and everything, and that's it.
Oh, speaking of
But
poultry, okay, sorry, like completely like side note, left field. We have chicken at my house,
okay,
okay? Because the kids wanted chicken because they wanted eggs from the chicken.
okay,
So the landlady bought like she built that whole like pen or den, I don't know how it's called, to keep the chicken.
okay.
And they got the chicken in, and now they're growing, so they're getting bigger and bigger. And they got them like really small, right? They were just like little chicks. And earlier today, like I don't know, about an hour before the podcast, I was just sitting outside having a smoke, having a drink, and the landlady is trying to change the food for the chicken. So she opens the den and tries to get in, and the chickens just booked it out of the thing, and like they were out. That was it. They were gone. They were like in the backyard everywhere. I'm like,
Oh my
oh.
god.
So I'm like, oh shit, do you need help? So like, well, like you should have seen us like running around after the chicken, trying to catch them to put them back into the thing. That's funny. But anyway, yeah, that was my little side story.
I do have to say, there's something unique about countrysides in Japan.
Yeah.
Like in the Philippines, we should say countryside is a countryside. It's like whatever you see in other parts of Southeast Asia, you also see in the Philippines,
Right.
like beaches and traditional dances, eating fruits, traditional fruits and whatever.
Okay.
Look, yeah, so kind of like that. But in Japan, they do something special, not just like not just seeing the natural riches of the area. They create products that you wouldn't be able to buy in other parts of Japan.
Right.
Like say for example, in Hokkaido, they specialize on yogurt and
They make
dairy
they make
products.
make yogurt. I thought their specialty was shiitake mushroom crisp.
Yes. Well, speaking of that, they do have
Because
shiitake products as well.
that's where it came from, right? When I looked it up last time, it came from. It actually came from Hokkaido.
Yes, it does, but it's well that I should say it's one of those. But one of the unique products they have is the yogurt thing. Like
Okay.
they have this milk yogurt you can only drink in Hokkaido specifically. You cannot have that in Niigata, where Wakayama or in Okinawa. You can't
Right.
have that particular
Why?
yogurt. You can only get that in Hokkaido.
Why is it so special though?
To me, it's special because it's something you don't have in, like, a yogurt is a yogurt, and it can taste the same in other parts of the world, I should say.
Yeah.
But milk yogurt in Japan is it's almost like milk but not.
Okay.
So it's a
So it's like
creamy sub yeah.
so it's like it's just the way they make it, and maybe I'm assuming the like what they use to make it, that might be different. Because like I remember one of the things that I won't say shocked me, but like I found a little weird when I moved to Canada almost 15
Mm.
years ago now, is that milk tasted different. The milk
Oh.
the milk was different from the milk I was used to in France, right? Be-
Uh-huh.
because even though no, like even if you compare like 2% milk to 2% milk, it is different. It doesn't taste the same. Which means that like products like yogurt and cheese and stuff that would be made the same way, but in those two different places, actually
Okay.
actually taste different to me.
Oh. Well, I actually I observed that too because I am used to drinking like an ordinary pack of milk in the Philippines and it
Right.
tastes almost like water.
Yeah.
Um, but when I moved here in Hokkaido, whenever I buy any pack of milk that is made in Hokkaido, it's just different. It's creamier. You can like it tastes like legitimately milk, should I
Okay.
say?
Okay. You
Well,
you
not just yeah.
it's like the bar. You won't believe this is real milk.
I know. And like when I came back to the Philippines to, to visit my family.
Yeah.
So, I crave for milk because it's a thing in Hokkaido, should I say.
Mm-hmm.
So I drank a glass of milk and I'm like, this is not milk. And they were like, what's wrong with you? That's milk. And I'm like, yeah, but it's more of water. And they're like, just because you went to Japan doesn't mean you can criticize the milk in the Philippines. And
That's
I'm like,
funny.
I know I'm trying to be nice here, but I'm just telling the truth.
It's
This
yeah,
is not milk.
it's different. Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah, and well, it's not just the dairy products and stuff like that is special in Hokkaido. I should say
Right.
there are a lot of random stuff in Hokkaido as well.
Okay.
Like during the trip I had with Shingo earlier this week, so we went to this toll road stop. So each main road that you go traveling around, there should always be a toll road stop, should I say? It's like a and they call it Michi no Eki. So it
Okay.
means like it's a station where, you want to go pee or whatever, you want to buy
Right.
products that you
Right.
cannot buy in any parts of the countryside or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Did
we went
you
to
did you send me photos of that?
yeah, I did. And I actually took a video of a random dinosaur in the
Oh,
middle of the
yeah.
road.
I remember a dinosaur. I remember that.
Yeah, so there's this random dinosaur, like,
Hold on. Let me pull up the video of the dinosaur. I think I can
yes,
find.
please.
I think I can find it. Wait. A while ago, that was blue ramen. Okay. Let me pop that. Let me put it full screen and then switch that so people can see that random dinosaur.
Exactly. It's a thing in Japan in general, but it's more of a thing in Hokkaido. Like
That's funny.
random shit, man. There's a lot of random shit in Hokkaido, which is very interesting for
That
us foreigners.
that's actually funny.
So we saw that dinosaur, and I'm like, what's that dinosaur have to do with the area stop?
Yeah,
Like, what does it have to do for me buying souvenirs? I don't understand.
it's so random because like yeah, like how does it tie in with this with the area? Like are
I
there
don't even know how
like
they thought of that.
did they actually find dinosaurs in the
I
area,
don't I
or they
don't
were like, or
know.
like one day some dude saw some dinosaur somewhere and was like, oh dude, dinosaurs are amazing. I'm just gonna build that. I'm gonna have that big ass dinosaur next to my little shop on the road because it's gonna be great.
Exactly. Exactly. And I don't know if you can Okay, I'm losing my words. I'm losing my English. So
Okay,
I
English is
remember
hard.
so and the fact that I'm an English teacher. But anyway,
It's okay, we won't
so
talk about that.
I sent you yesterday the video of this funny hat that
Yes,
Shingo was like pressing, and the and
that was
the
ama-
ears were like
that was amazing.
flipping around.
I was actually laughing so hard at it because I did not expect it.
I know, and it's at a mushroom what mushroom souvenir shop.
Yeah,
Like, where the hell
that's funny.
did they think, like, how the hell did they think of putting that
It's
at a mushroom souvenir shop?
but like I mean, mushroom souvenir shop, like just that in itself is like what?
Exactly, right? Like, why, among all the things
Yeah,
you would buy as a souvenir,
yeah.
mushrooms? Like, seriously, a pack of mushrooms?
Sorry, I'm watching the video with that hat. It's actually so funny. uh,
Oh god. But yeah, I should say Hokkaido is interesting on its
yeah, they
own.
have
Like,
dinosaurs. Of course, it's interesting.
yeah, and flipping hats, like
And,
hats with
yeah,
flapping ears, should I say?
this is great. Great, I want to go there.
And ramen with a blue color.
Blue ramen. Okay, this is actually this is a little weird though. I'm not gonna lie. Like blue ramen is a little What did they even put in there to make it blue? This is so weird.
I was having second thoughts if I'm gonna buy that or not, because like it's 380 yen, man. 380 yen. That's
Three.
like $3.80 for like
Well,
a pack of instant ramen.
I mean,
A
huh?
usual pack of ramen is like just 100 yen or 190, but like weird ramen and you're not even sure
It's
what
like
it tastes like
it's like almost
for 380, yeah.
it's almost $5 Canadian. Yeah, it's a little pricey, but I mean, no, for the experience, why not? Okay,
Chloe, my sister, is like, yeah,
how about you go buy one and you send it to me and then I'll try it on video.
let's do that. Yeah, I'm
Let's
gonna do that.
let's do it. We're gonna
We do
do.
have that in we do have that in one of the stores in Sapporo. Yeah, it's available. So,
Nice.
yeah, let's try that. Yeah.
We'll do a brew ramen live reaction.
Oh my god. Good luck to me.
It's gonna be great.
I should probably send one you one too.
Yeah.
So one of your lists is the blue ramen and the mushroom crisps, right?
What?
One of your lists, no, two of your lists, uh, are the mushroom crisps and that blue ramen thing.
Yes. Yes. Correct.
Oh my god, I should probably think of other weird stuff, weird shit
Shoot.
that I can see from here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's it. I don't have anything else in mind though.
Yeah. That was something else I wanted to talk about, but we're kind of running out of time here, so it's okay. We'll touch to that.
Probably on the next episode. So what do you want to talk about?
Next episode, I was curious about finding a place to live in Japan. Like how hard is
Oh.
it and how expensive is it? Because no,
Oh wow.
there's the idea of no, everything is so small, right, in Japan.
And not just that, it's not easy for foreigners to,
And okay,
yeah,
that was my next point, right? How hard is it for someone who's not from there, for like a slimy gaijin to actually find a place,
exactly.
right? So
Exactly.
we can talk about this next time on
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
next episode on Holy Shiitake, living in Japan. It's gonna be great. But yeah, anyway, yeah, anything else you wanted to talk about?
I think that's probably it. I'll just list down whatever comes into my mind. But yes, I do have a lot to say about the apartment thing
All right.
because I have that goddamn experience, should I say.
Yeah, twice now, or if not
Oh
more.
yeah, not just twice, man. I had a very bad experience thrice.
Damn.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you everything.
All right.
Like everything, yeah.
I want to know. I want to know. We'll do that next time. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know when next time is gonna be, but we're gonna try and plan that and do it soon.
Mhm.
Do it soon. Right.
Mhm. All
All
right.
right. So I guess we're gonna end here. If you guys are watching us on YouTube or listening to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, I may be live right now at the time of watching this or listening to it. You can find a link to my channel in the description. And if I'm not live, you can just, give me a follow or, sub to me on YouTube if you want to see more of that and hear more of that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I guess we'll see you all next time, right? Bye, Jenny.
Bye, Florent.
We'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right.
All right. Take care.
またね